Hello, 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 and welcome back to another Conversations with JR. I hope everyone is doing well this summer. We are up against a lot. We got continuous floods and storms and fires and this heat. People should not complain in the wintertime that they be glad when summer arrives. Because this summer has been so hot that it's making it very difficult to go out and enjoy the outdoors. So I hope that everyone is doing as best as they can. Today's conversation, or should I say today's tea, be careful what you sacrifice. Because blind ambition is deadly. Now, let me clarify something. It's not wrong to be ambitious. It really isn't wrong to be ambitious. It's not wrong to have plans and goals, and you have life dreams. I like to say vision, and you put a plan together and you pursue that plan. There is absolutely nothing wrong with people who want to advance at work. You want a promotion, you want a pay increase, for whatever the personal reasons that you are doing these things. Today I want to bring awareness to sometimes we don't think about what we sacrifice, who we sacrifice, doing this climb up the ladder and the ambition that we have. And sometimes ambition doesn't look too good on some people because they basically do anything to get to where they want. And that's why over the last few weeks, I've been reflecting on what I have sacrificed this is about the last 2 years of my life, and how it nearly ended my life. You see, over the last 10 years or so, I have become obsessed with creating goals on my to-do list and checking off things on my to-do list and creating vision boards and bucket lists. And there is nothing wrong with a to-do list. There's nothing wrong with creating vision boards or bucket lists. Bucket lists are great because I have checked off a few things on my bucket list that, it has taken me a lifetime to achieve. But when I speak about sacrifices and the things that we have to sacrifice sometimes, you hear people say they sacrifice sleep, they sacrifice, a clean house, they sacrifice, a few things in order to get to where they need to go, because they can come back to those things. They can really come back to those things. My journey that I'm going to share with you to become the successful person that I am today, and how life experiences have shaped me, and how sacrifices that I have made and people and relationships that I have sacrificed that I can never get back. My life did not start on a traditional path, meaning, you graduate from high school, you go off to college, you graduate from college, you secure a solid career path, you find your soulmate, you create a family, you ride off into the sunset, your golden years. My life was in the opposite. As a high school dropout, teenage single mother, because my first sacrifice was a wrong one. I sacrificed my body with a young man who was just as ignorant as I was at the time. We didn't know what we was doing, and no one stopped us. And so I wind up being stuck. And I'm not saying that in a negative way, but I wind up being left behind to raise a child when I did not know what it is that I was doing. And I had to sacrifice myself in order to make sure that this child had, what it is that he needed to have to live a good life. It took me years to backtrack, to acquire, my education. I went back and I got a high school equivalency, and then I went on to a community college. I earned an associate degree, bachelor's degree, and finally this year, after years of struggling, 2024, I've earned my master's degree at the age of 16. And those was difficult years. But however, what really prompted me to do this podcast and to have this conversation with you is that I thought about what I really sacrificed over the last 2 years, from 2022 to 2024, had a great impact on my mental, emotional, but most of all, my physical health. My blind ambition in achieving this lifelong dream of my master's degree, it recently came to light that it caused horrible consequences. It did, horrible consequences. And it led me again to be reflective of what it is that I did and why. Like what I did and why. I used my age as a means of saying that I have to do this because I am getting older. And we all see the stories of people in their 70s, 80s, and 90s achieving degrees. It's about finishing what you start. And it's not about when you finished. And I wasn't thinking about that at that time because I was underneath that blind ambition. And I nearly ended my life because I was sacrificing too much of what was important. While you're listening to this tea, think about this. During your mad pursuit, because we have a moment of insanity when we're doing these things, in pursuit of your goals, your dreams, your vision, personal, whatever it is, a house, a car, 6-figure salary, a bank account, while you're on the stage of life grinding with light speed, because we want everything to be fast, we want everything to hurry up and finish and be over with, to obtain these goals. I want to bring your attention to what we are not paying attention to. I want to bring awareness to. We're not paying attention to the events taking place behind the curtains. Things is happening behind that curtain, but however, you're so blinded by this ambition and you're so willing to sacrifice so much that you don't pay attention to these things that's going on behind the curtains that are important, and that will impact the pursuit of your ambition. They can alter your life. They could change the trajectory of your life because it changed mine. Ambition has its pros and cons like everything else. But when I went into this, I didn't understand that. I wasn't thinking about no pros and cons. I was not thinking about anything except for I found the right school, fully online. I worked Monday through Friday, 10 to 6. This was the right fit for me, and I'm going for it because in my heart, in my mind, I felt like I'm not going to get this opportunity again. It's never going to happen again. So I walked the path of blind ambition. People, we drive ourselves into exhaustion. And sometimes this exhaustion is mentally, physically, emotionally, and also financial ruins to achieve what we perceive as a tangible reward for the sacrifices made along the path of grinding for our goals. Think about that. I want you to actually really think about the things that you have sacrificed, the people, the places, the relationship, yourself. Sleep is not something to sacrifice. Food is not something to sacrifice. Your health is not something to sacrifice. Okay? Because without mental stability, without emotional stability, without financial stability, and definitely without your health, what is that goal that you have with you? What is it going to do for you? What is it going to do for you? I got the degree. I held it in my hand. I put it up on the wall. I looked at it. I didn't feel the joy that I thought that I was going to feel. I just didn't feel, it's there, and I'm thankful that I went through it. But along the way, I went through these storms that I was not even supposed to go through. That's what we do. The storms come in pursuit. While we're in pursuit of our goals, these storms come. Instead of us paying attention that we should wait it out. No, what do? We push through, we come out on the other side, and we are battered, numb, and dazed. And then the first thing you say to yourself is, oh my God, why did I do that? Why didn't I just wait? I opened the drawer for more drama. Because we want what we want when we want it, and how we want it. Blind ambition makes us greedy. I know it did for me. It makes us greedy. It makes us arrogant in pursuit of our goals. It does. Blind ambition has disregards for everything and everyone around us. And if you are lucky enough to have the support of loved ones and family and friends and co-workers, listen to them. Listen to them. I didn't have the support of my family. I have a very small circle of friends that were supporting me. I don't have a spouse. I don't have a partner. I just have my little sweetheart Peanut, my little dog Peanut. I just have him, and then that's it. But I was doing it all on my own, and we're not supposed to be striving like this all on our own. And I wish that I had someone to share this journey with, but I didn't. And I just kept going. Again, like I said, I use aids to drive myself harder than I should have. I disconnected socially. I disconnect, and that's dangerous. Isolation is no good. I disconnected myself socially. I sacrificed that human connection. That human connection that makes you laugh and just rejuvenate you, and going out for dinners and Broadway show. I just sacrificed that because I kept saying, I have to get the work done. I got to go home. I got to get the work done. I got to get the work done. And this led to depression and anger. Now, I was really getting depressed, and I was really starting to get anger. And it was the resentment towards the goal. Can you believe that? I had resentment because in my mind and out loud, I'm saying, if I did not have to do this work, I would be able to go out. I would be able to, take more vacations. And I did take vacations, but sometimes I had to take the vacation with the laptop with me. I had to do what it is that I had to do. The major price I paid, because I wasn't willing to pay attention to the events that was going on behind the curtains that was directly affecting me, I sacrificed my health. I sacrificed my health for this blind ambition. Now, reminder, it is not the goal that is dangerous unless you're doing something that is going to harm people, and that's not really going to be helpful. The goal and sometimes the plan, it's not dangerous. It is the process of achieving that goals that we don't take into consideration. And those who are directly and indirectly involved in the process of us achieving our goals. Let me just give you an example of a few people, because you might, if you're listening to this, you might be saying, you don't know my situation, you don't know what I'm going through, I have to do this, I have to do. We always convince ourselves that we have to, that is so dire that we have to. Listen, what's her name? Simone Biles, world famous gymnast. You see, she dropped out last year because she wasn't willing to risk her mental health. It was important to her. She was at the top of her game. She had to make a choice. Remember years and years and years ago, Dave Chappelle. He wasn't willing to risk being used and controlled by money and fame. When he disappeared, when he was offered millions of dollars for that contract, he had to think about it. He had to think about what he would be sacrificing. Prince Harry. A lot of people could talk crap about him all they want. You're not living his life. He did not want what happened to his mother to happen to his wife. He made the ultimate sacrifice. You got to think about what you're sacrificing and who is it for. Because some people sacrifice and they're selfish and it's all about them. President Biden just recently, as I am talking to you right now, he decided that he's not willing to risk handing over the world, handing the presidency over to Trump. So he is stepping aside. Blind ambition sometimes make people selfish. That's what it did to me. I wanted to prove to myself that I can achieve this goal and that I needed to achieve this goal. And this was my one opportunity. And the story went on and on and on. But recently, July 1st, today is July 21st, I went to the doctor. Thought that I was just going to get a physical. Hadn't been there for 2 years. I wanted to talk about the massive weight loss that I observed. I landed in the hospital. Why? Because my sugar was 300, my blood pressure was 249, and my AC1 was 14. And everyone is asking me in the medical profession, how did I function? I am telling you right now, I'm not preaching no religion to nobody, but it was by the grace of God. Because they said I could have had a stroke. It didn't affect my eyes. It didn't affect my kidneys. It didn't affect my heart. It didn't affect my liver. Oh, I am so grateful. I am so grateful. I sacrificed my emotional, my mental, social connections. I isolated myself. I did it for 2 years to achieve this degree. I got this degree and it was almost the end of me. Almost the end of me. Oh my God. I am grateful. I am grateful. I'm going to end right here. I am going to end this right here now because I want my listeners to think about what it is that they are sacrificing and why. You really need to reflect, discover, come out new, reset, regroup. I know I am, because right now, you know what's happening to me? I have to inject myself 3 times a day for the next 60 days of insulin. And thank God I only have to take 1 pill. I went back to the doctor a week ago and he said my body is responding well. You think I'm playing with this? There will be no more sacrifices. I will deeply, quickly think about what it is that I am pursuing, why is that I am pursuing, and what is going to be the consequences. I thank you for listening. I hope you share this with someone. Have a conversation with someone. Friends, family. If you see that they are sacrificing themselves for the wrong reason, for a broken relationship, grinding for a job that you don't even get to enjoy life. Think about it. Think about it. What you sacrifice something, what are you sacrificing? Because blind ambition is deadly. Until the next time, I thank you for listening to Conversations with JR.